What's up guys, it's Jukes. So in this video, I'm going to talk about my current controller settings that I'm using in FIFA 21. So if you've been watching me on Twitch, a lot of people have asked what my controller settings are, so I thought I'd make a video and just go over why I'm using what I'm using. So let's get to it. So the FIFA trainer is hidden, of course, I always put that off. Timed finishing, I do have that off. I don't think you need to do timed finishing in FIFA 21. You didn't need to do it in FIFA 20 either, so turn that off. I do think if you turn it off, I'm not sure if it's off for pens as well, because in FIFA 20, I still think you could time pens if this was turned off, but I'm not sure if they changed that this year. Um, yeah, I'm not entirely sure about that, but next player switch indicator is on. I always want to see what player I'm going to switch to, so I would probably recommend not turning that off. Pass block assistance, I also have that off. So this basically means the AI will try to make blocks for you. I mean, I would not not turn that off, especially with with blocks being such a factor this year in the box at times. So yeah, I have that on. Would not recommend turning that off. So I have auto switching, or my player switching rather, on air balls and loose balls. That's what I've been using for like the past 5 or 6 FIFAs, I think. I know a lot of people use manual, but I feel like manual doesn't really work the way it should. So, and then auto switching is just kind of a disaster, I think, in FIFA. The AI will just constantly switch to the player closest to the ball. This is actually what I used to use when I started playing FIFA, but obviously, air balls and loose balls I think is the best setting. So I've got that on air balls and loose balls. Auto switching move assistance, I have this on none. Um, I'm not 100% sure what high does, but I would guess that it messes about with a player movement as you switch to a player, because I feel like the AI will move the player for you for a short period of time, like it says in the description. So I just didn't want to tinker with any of that, so I just kept that unknown. You know, I want to dictate how I'm moving, not how I don't want to rely on the AI moving for me. I've got the jockey speed on assisted. Um, I don't think you should use manual for this because the jockeying being unassisted, I do think helps out more. It just gives you a bit more flexibility when you're defending. So I've got that on assisted. Auto flare pass, I have this on off. I'm actually glad they added this as an option because last year, if you watched me on Twitch, you know that I complained a lot about players doing flare passes when I didn't want them to do that. Um, So I've got this on off. Although there were at times where a flare pass would have helped me in some of my games, and I keep forgetting to do that. So maybe I'll turn this back on. But for now, I kept it on off, so I'll just probably keep that. Auto clearances. I actually have this on, and I thought about turning this off, but I haven't noticed the AI making any clearances for me that I um whatchamacallit that I would disagree with, and just on that topic, I haven't noticed any clearances at all, full stop. So I am guessing they kind of fixed how auto clearances operate now, and that the AI will only clear when it's like a completely last resort. So I just kept this on, and I haven't noticed any problems with that so far. Auto shots, I've kept this on as well. Again, I haven't noticed the AI taking any shots for me, so I'm guessing this is again only in the appropriate situations, like it says in the description. For the setting itself. So I kept this on. Maybe at times you'll get a rebound where you just can't react fast enough and the AI will score for you. Ideally, I wish auto shots weren't a thing, but since they are, I'm just going to keep them on. Uh, I do have player lock enabled, but I have not done this much at all. It's probably something I need to lab a bit and try to incorporate. Although if you watch my streams, I feel like the creative runs and player lock itself just kind of slows you down a bit too much. So I'm not sure how useful this actually is, but I do have this on. I haven't switched it off. Okay, so this is the big one. People always keep asking me about this one: contextual agile dribbling. So I have this off. This doesn't turn off agile dribbling. This basically turns off the AI doing agile dribblings for you when they see fit. That's pretty much what it is. If they think agile dribbling is necessary in a certain situation, the AI is going to agile dribble for you. That's pretty much what this setting is. I would recommend turning this off because I don't think you should rely on the AI for dribbling. You should always be in control of dribbling yourself. So I have this on off. I would recommend turning that off. Assisted headers. So this is pretty much turned off for online gameplay. You can turn this on for gameplay offline. I don't know if you can turn this on for squad battles in Ultimate Team. I'm not sure about that. For draft, rivals, and weekend league, this is going to be off. So keep that in mind. My right stick switching has been on player relative. I know some people use ball relative. I just feel like player relative works out best for me, so I just kept it. Again, you don't have to copy my settings. Let me just get that out of the way. You can take some of my settings and just tinker with them. And I mean, I would always use what settings work best for you, except for some of the few things that I mentioned that I would recommend turning off. So let me just get that out of the way. So some of the next few settings are kind of self-explanatory or explanatory. Ground pass assistance assisted, through ball assistance assisted, shot assistance assisted, cross assistance. So they changed how this works this year. So assisted now is how semi-assisted used to be. So I would recommend putting this on assisted. They mentioned that in the pitch notes. Law pass assistance is assisted. Then save assistance also assisted. Then analog sprint, I would recommend also turning that off. But I mean, some of those assisted settings for some of the mechanics in this game, I mean, you always want to put them on assisted unless you want to play offline on manual just to test stuff out a bit. But some of that stuff is explanatory, really. Then defending, again, you can't use legacy defending online, so it's tactical defending. Then my pass receiver lock is late. I do think this potentially helps with first-time fake shots, but I'm not entirely sure about that. I know some people have used early, but I tried using early and it just felt a bit weird for me, so I switched that to late. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, I'll say it one more time. Some of the settings that I mentioned, I would recommend turning those off or on. The others, just kind of use what works for you, I guess. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Those are my controller settings at this point in time for FIFA 21. If you guys enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up as always. Thanks a ton for watching, and I will catch you guys next time. Take it easy.